It's Gypsy Man, and I'm making this video because somebody asked me, when I do my videos, he noticed that my guns are always clean. And to be honest with you, the main reason why my guns are always clean is because they're always clean. Like every time I shoot with them, I always clean my guns. But I just wanted to do and I know there's a million videos on this, but let me show you how I clean my guns. And more so, I'm going to tell you how I clean my guns. And you'll always see my gun in like new condition, other than the little scum that comes off when you're shooting with the sandpaper. But it'll always be like new, and you'll always see shiny parts in there. And the reason why my parts are always shiny is because I polish all my parts. And the reason I polish them isn't so much because I want it to have a smoother trigger, which it does, but mainly, other than that, is because I just basically want my guns to function at their optimal, and it makes it easier for me to clean my guns. So, if I took out another gun, it'll look like this too. I can't stand working on dirty things. Like when I used to rebuild and build motors for motorcycles, I would tell people, you bring your bike over here, make sure you clean it before you bring it over. And that's how everything's going to look at all times. I always admired, like, when you went to the dealership and they always had a clean workspace, they always had a clean shop, and you could hardly tell that they were working on the car unless you saw them doing it. And I always took that into my projects that I used at home. So basically what I don't use any solvents on my guns because I don't have to, because all the work is done because I've polished it and I keep my guns oiled, and all I use is a dry brush. After I shoot, I'll brush everything out first. If I don't brush it out first, I'll just take a cloth and wipe it first, and then I'll brush it. And that pretty much gets everything off because I keep my guns clean and lubed. And once I do that, I can pretty much just wipe it here and wipe it all off. I use the big end for this. I use the smaller end to hit the rails. All right, and after I do that, I just take a cloth and I wipe this out, and I'm pretty much done with the slide, unless I take the slide apart, which you'll see all the parts in my guns are polished. Everything's polished. So you don't really have to go no further than that if you're not going to polish it. Not too much scum and dirt gets down into this area, but if you want to take that off, you just take that off, take out the back plate, and everything pops out. You clean that up, and if I took that off, you will see that everything in my gun, like I've told you, is polished. So for example, I could just take it off real quick, and I'll just show you this one part. If everything comes out the way it needs to come out, and you'll see that everything, I'll put the spring back on, everything in there is going to be polished. All the areas that need to be polished, you only have to polish this part, but while you have it out there, you might as well hit the whole thing. And the same thing with the firing pin. I'll just hit it, put it back, and I'll be good to go. Like I'm looking at it now, and I can give it a little wipe, and you'll see hardly anything came off of it. And that's after a few thousand rounds, because I don't always take this out when I clean it. And just reassemble and put everything back where it needs to be. And that's pretty much everything you need to do with the slide. You don't have to do much more. If you keep it polished and cleaned, you won't have to worry about scrubbing it or using any solvents. All right, so after that, I'll oil the rails. And I have a video on oiling, and I'll oil the inside of the slide. I don't put oil anywhere else. I'll just take the bore snake to this. More importantly, wear your protective gear, wear your gloves, and if you fire a lot and have cleaned your gun a long time, use a mask. I'll take this, use the snake. My barrel always looks like this, so all I have to do is wipe it down and oil it in the areas that I've said in a previous video, the oil spring, I just wipe it down and then I reassemble that and put it to the side. For this, it pretty much stays clean. I'll just wipe it out with a rag. I will, because I like cleaning my guns, I'll take the trigger out and I'll wipe down the bar. And my bar is always going to be, it's always going to be clean, it's always going to be shiny. Because I keep my guns clean. Every time I shoot them. I don't like, going back to my story about filth. You know, I see a lot of people showing their guns on the videos and their guns are filthy and you can't help but be like, ugh, you know, you clean your gun. And I don't see why, I don't know if it's a macho thing when it comes to Glocks or guns in general. People say they don't clean their guns. Man, clean your guns. Make sure that they're going to work 100% every time you pull that trigger. And I'll take everything out of this. I'll pull that out. Everything is polished on my guns. I'll take that out. I'll take the slide lock out. I'll make sure that's clean as well. And I'll take out the firing pin and make sure that that's clean, the housing. Everything will be clean. I'll oil it, put it back together. I mean, it's pretty simple to clean your Glocks. The most important thing about cleaning your Glocks is that, and any other gun that you have, is just to keep it clean. If you keep it clean, it's a lot easier to clean it. Everything is mainly wipes off. You shouldn't have to do too much brushing on it. And you can wipe it off with a rag and never use solvents. I don't do any solvents. And that's pretty much a quick video of how I clean my guns. And I don't do much more than that. The tools that I use are right here in front of you. I'll use two different size pins, one for the smaller pins, one for the larger pins. This one has a little ball at the top of it, this tool. It keeps me from doing any marring. It keeps me from, you know, it gives me that little tight tap that I need if I need to tap anything. That little ball up front gives me that. And a bore snake, and I use a roll of tape. I got the armor blocks for the Glocks and everything else, but seriously, this is really all I use. That's all I use, and all the parts fall in and they stay in there. But that's how I clean my Glocks. Ain't nothing to it. You've seen it 100 times, but someone asked and I just wanted to make a quick video. Hope that helps. Peace.